What's going on, boys and girls? It's Al back from Exiles, and today we're going to be talking about vampires. We're going to be talking about these zombies, and I know you're feeling like a zombie, but I can assure you it's... I'm just going to get the boring shit out of the way first. And boom! There we go. All laid out for you. Right, this is the boring part. It's the zombie world engine, or, you know, for people that... have no idea what it is. It's the thing that makes all zombie decks actually competitively viable right now. In fact, is zombie competitively viable? Who knows? Ask your nearest stupid person. I don't actually have an idea, but breakdown: 2 Solitaire, 3 Uni, 2 Glow Up Bloom, 2 Jacobolan, 2 Mizuki, 1 Baladrock, 1 Banshee, 3 Super Poly, 3 Zombie World, 3 Rivalry of Warlords, and 1 Foolish Burial. If you don't know why these are being played, consult a zombie player. Okay, maybe that was a little bit too blunt, but I'll break them down as quickly as I can. You play Zombie World because it's what turns all of your opponent's monsters into zombies, and it lets you use Super Poly, as they're all zombies, to go into your zombie fusion monster. You know, turning all your opponent's monsters into zombies is going to be a good day for you, because if you flip Rivalry of Warlords on them, they can't do jack shit. You get your Zombie World with Necro World Banshee. Doom King Baladrock is a massive cunt, and everybody knows that. Mizuki, well, yeah, Mizuki brings back zombies from the graveyard. Jacobolan is probably the single best zombie monster for vampires, because it gets zombie monsters out of your hand, and you don't want them in your hand most of the time. Glow Up Bloom searches most of the good vampires, as well as most of the good zombies. Unizombie is Unizombie. Like, I don't really want to have to explain this to you guys, but Unizombie can both dump zombie monsters from your hand and deck to the graveyard, and Solitaire gets you your Unizombie. It's that simple. And Foolish Burial, I have no idea what it's there for. Now on to the interesting part, or the less boring part, the actual vampires. So, double Vampire Scarlet Scourge. This guy is pretty good. On normal or special summon, he brings out any vampire from your graveyard at the lovely cost of 1,000 life points. And being a high level vampire, he has the ability to take control of a monster your opponent controls that has been destroyed that turn, which is pretty damn good. Red Baron is another level 6. You're pretty much just playing it for the level, but it allows you to pay 1,000 to target a monster your opponent controls, and a vampire monster you control. It has to be another vampire monster, and switch control of them. Taking control of your opponent's monsters is very nice, especially if they have a level, because it lets you overlay into your Sheridan, you know, the rank 6 guy that just looks like he's come out of an orgy at some goth brothel somewhere in the middle of arse end of nowhere. Anyway, Vampire Fraulein, or Fraulein, I don't speak German, so please correct me in the comments. This is probably the bane of most players' battle phases. If your opponent is fighting you and you drop Fraulein on them, then you can essentially alter the attack of any of your battling vampire monsters by paying life points in multiples of 100. So that's pretty damn good. Now for the old ones, level 5s, Shadow Vampire and Duke. Shadow Vampire on normal summon lets you bring a vampire out of the deck. Duke lets you bring one out of the graveyard. They also come with this weird bleed effect from about 7 years ago, but we don't really need to talk about that unless, you know, go on Google, look it up. I don't know. Right, now for the best ones, the small ones. Triple Familiar. On special summon, you can pay 500 life points to add any vampire monster from your deck to your hand. And then Retainer is exactly the same effect on special summon, but it lets you add a vampire spell or trap. Both of these guys can be special summoned from the graveyard by sending a vampire card from your hand or field to the graveyard, but they get banished if they leave the field like that. Onto the spells, Vampire Domain, pay 500, you get an additional normal summon of a vampire, and it also converts battle damage your opponent takes into life points for you. One Vampire's Desire, you can either choose to dump a vampire from your deck to the graveyard to make the level of a monster you control the same as that dumped vampire, or you can send a vampire monster from your hand to the graveyard to special summon a vampire from your graveyard. I don't know if that's its exact card text, but I can't be bothered to lean down and read it. And then double Vampire's Domination. This, people compare this to being an Infernity Barrier, and I assure you it is not an Infernity Barrier, because an Infernity Barrier would be a card that would, you know, be able to be activated more than once a turn. And I think because it's vampires, they should have been given that option. But we can't all have nice things, can we, boys and girls? That's if any females watch this. If you do, then cool. Onto the extra deck. Double Sucker. This is a staple for most zombie decks. Nets you a card if a monster is special summoned out of the graveyard. And basically, that's about it. You can bring a monster from your opponent's graveyard back to the field as a zombie if you want to get that draw even more quickly. Double Sheridan. So in order to XC summon this, you can either use your own monsters, or you can use a monster your opponent controls that's owned by you. So, no, owned by your opponent but controlled by you. So if you take control of one of your opponent's Blue Eyes White Dragons by nicking them out the graveyard with Sheridan or not Sheridan, sorry, or, well, Sheridan can steal out of the graveyard as well, but Scarlet Scourge and Red Baron can do that once a card's destroyed on the opponent's field. You can turn that monster into a level 6 to overlay into a Sheridan, so that's really nice. Sheridan also has a nice ability that lets you send a monster on the field to the graveyard by detaching a material, but in order to steal a monster with Sheridan's effect, you have to detach an additional monster. So you can use its effect, detach a material to pop a monster, and then detach an additional material to steal that monster you just popped with Sheridan's effect, so that's really nice. Bram is your rank 5. Not much to say about Bram. He's incredibly restrictive, but you can steal a monster out of your opponent's graveyard, so that is pretty damn good, and he's a 2500 body. Always nice to have. Utopia Beyond, because level 6, it's probably the best rank 6 out there. One Verte Anaconda, because we're playing Super Poly in the deck, and yeah. Almirage, because if you link off your lower level monsters, you can get searches off of them and bring them back from the graveyard. Nightmares, because I literally ran out of options. Fusion Boys, 1 Starving Venom and 1 Drago. Starving Venom's mostly there because you can turn your opponent's monsters into Dark Attribute by using Verte Anaconda's first effect, which nobody seems to like understand is there. And then for the Synchros, we're playing a level 7 Dawn Dragster in case you want to use the level 1 Tuner to go into it, or Omega for our level 8. Anyway, guys, I hope you've liked this more comedic take on vampires. I wanted to make this as short and sweet as possible, and I wanted to just give you a little bit of entertainment during these hard times. But anyway, please subscribe to the channel and like the video. Eventually, well, very soon, hopefully by the end of this week, I'm going to be bringing you an updated competitive Mermail deck profile for the Master Rule 5/online format. So keep your eyes peeled, and I will be with you in the future. That's Big Al out.